Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ceci Truman Live. This show will be starting in just a few moments, so stay tuned. And if you're seeing this on social media, please like, share, and follow. For more information, go to trumanforcongress.com. This show is brought to you by Ceci Truman. Here's Ceci.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I wanted to just encourage you all that courageous is contagious. Wanted to open with that statement. Today is Sunday. Happy Sunday, everyone. January the 7th. Happy New Year to everyone. It's a 24. And today we are featuring two amazing guests. First, we will have Tom Trento from the United West, and he is the executive director of that organization. In the second segment, we will have Barbie George, and she is the California director for Moms of America. So I'm very excited to speak with both, but first let's welcome Tom Trento.
Ceci, how you doing? It's been
Great.
it's been a few months since we were together in the Holy Land, and isn't it absolutely amazing what is going on right now? Unbelievable.
Yes, agreed. Unbelievable. And it gives me chills sometimes to even think that we were actually at many of the locations where the travesty has occurred, the breach in their security, which we will talk about because we are going to talk about America's border issues and what is happening here. But I think it is really important to understand, the viewers need to understand what has occurred in Israel. And just in June, we were there. We went to view border walls, security measures that Israel implements. They're very proactive. Their country is merely the size of the state of New Jersey, and they have to be proactive in security because they are literally surrounded by people who want the Israelis to be extinct. And so anyhow, why don't you share with us what happened in Israel when we went?
Yeah, absolutely. To give your viewers and listeners context. Context is a big word now, context. I run the United West, a counterterrorism organization, an amazing group of people. And for the past 10 years or so, we've been taking small groups of influencers, people who lead organizations, people in law enforcement, media, people running for office. We take them to Israel for a national security briefing. And this past summer, we took you and about 50 or 60 others with Tom Homan, former ICE director under Trump. We also had Sarah Carter. We had Victor Avila, former ICE agent. And the whole idea was to learn about how Israel secured its borders in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west. And we were all over that country, every place that's under attack now. We were there, but that's why we were there. No one could have imagined what would happen just a few months after we were there.
Right. It's extremely heart-wrenching. And I do have some numbers just to kind of give the viewers an idea of what has occurred. If some people are staying really in tune to the news and what is the breach that occurred in Israel. But Israel suffered on October the 7th a barrage of 5,000 rockets to start off with. This started at 6:30 a.m. and approximately 1,194 were murdered in the worst way. This was worse than the Holocaust. 137, and there might be more, kidnapped. They're hostages now. This includes women, children, and elderly. We have 112 that are current survivors from the kidnapping. We have 4,834 that are injured. We have 425 IDF that have been killed. And since October 7th, there have been at least, and probably more, 10,000 rockets that have landed in the small country of Israel. Can we even imagine that happening here in America?
Uh, I've been doing a lot of presentations on just what you said, those very, very sad numbers. And if you weigh per capita those numbers, it would be something like we were attacked by Mexico. They killed 50. They go into your district, 25 in California. They kill 50,000 people, slaughter them in 3, 4, 5 hours, and then take captive back to Mexico between 3 and 5,000 people. Imagine if that happened in your district, what this country would be doing right now. And I don't want to hear from all the lefty crazies that Israel is killing babies and doing. This war could stop tomorrow. It could stop tomorrow if the Hamas surrenders and gives up the hostages. The war is over. They don't want it to end. They need to be destroyed.
Right. And, they cry ceasefire. Well, they had a ceasefire on October the 6th. That was ceasefire. They can have a ceasefire if they would release the hostages, like right now. There would be a ceasefire. But you know what? I am concerned for America. And my district borders Imperial Valley. It's approximately 1,000 miles all the way to Arizona. But there's a lot of shenanigans going on in Texas, Arizona, here in California. And we have never seen such an influx of people crossing illegally from 166 countries. We even have Gazans that have infiltrated, calling themselves Egyptians. We've got people from China that pretend not to speak English. But you know what? There's something really dark happening. They are coming in. They are setting up cell camps. And this is very dire for America. And people need to wait.
Yeah, look, if nobody knows the real numbers since Biden got elected, and since the inauguration in 21, January 20th, when he sat down very smugly and proudly and ripped up the executive orders that Donald Trump used to protect people in your state, people in my. I live in a border state. I live in Florida. We have 1,300 miles of ocean border. Ceci, how many people came into our state of Florida, and we're very controlled. You can love DeSantis or hate him, but he's done a very good job with law enforcement and immigration, all of that. We had last year under Biden, it's a federal issue, 260,000 illegal people come into the United States, come into the state of Florida. Absolutely unbelievable. But somewhere between 5-7 million have come in under Biden through the southern border. And don't forget, the northern border's not doing that well either. And this could it be treasonous? Sure, there's a line of legal reasoning where this is treasonous. It's certainly irresponsible. It's certainly illegal what they're doing, but it's a planned voter registration drive for the Democrats. Their policies have failed. They're losing people, so they got to import third world slaves and control them like they used to control black people in the 1800s. Now they're going to control brown people from third world countries as the future voters in the Democrat Party.
And I am Hispanic. My grandparents came from Morelia, Michoacan. I am Hispanic. My other grandmother came from Chihuahua, Mexico. But the Hispanics in my district, they want security just like everybody else. Everyone in my district, for the majority, they're blue collar workers. they work hard. They send their kids to the institutions, the public school system to get indoctrinated. And, they come home and it's not safe on the streets. And, everybody wants security. And I'm praying that we can turn this big, ugly ship around, because we need order at the border. And this is really out of control. This is an invasion. This is not a migration. This has been orchestrated from the powers that be. So you have also an offshoot of the United West called Swords of Iron. Can you explain what you do with Swords of Iron?
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't take my hat off to you. Anybody that runs for office, any conservative. The other people, they have different motives on the Democrat side, but the conservative Republican side, the majority of people, when they run, it's very sacrificial. It's like Trump. It's giving up a lot. It's because you want to serve your country, not as the Democrats. They want their country to serve them. They've flipped what JFK said. So I congratulate you. I encourage you. We'll help you anyway to run to get elected. We need good people for sure. The United West, we have 4 mission objectives. Defend the U.S. Constitution. We think it's a great document. Defend the state of Israel. It's our number 1 national security partner. That's why we need to help defend it. We want to defeat Mohammed, which is Islam. We believe that Islam is a failed system. We distinguish between human beings who adhere to the system. They're called Muslims. And the system itself. There's nothing in the world that says I have to respect a system that's inherently false and failed and destructive. So I don't respect the system of Islam. I respect and love the adherents, who many of whom don't want anything to do with it. So we're defeating Mohammed. And Marx, same thing. We don't respect the system that Karl Marx put together, though a good portion of the world through eons, hundreds of years, has followed it to their destruction. So we fight those isms. And when Israel launched their defensive maneuver against the Hamas on October 7th, they entitled it Swords of Iron. They did that, Ceci, because a sword has 2 blades, and it can be used as a defensive weapon or an offensive weapon. And if you notice, it's the Israel Defense Forces, not the Israel, let's go gain territory like Muslims did for 1,400 years and conquer everybody. That's not what the Israelis do. They're defending their homeland. So we took their name, and we have no affiliation to the army or anything like that. As an homage to the IDF, we took the name of their operation, Swords of Iron, and we're applying it in context here in the U.S. And the reason why is because the Hamas ideology and individuals are in operation in America with the same intent: destroy, disable, destruct the operating systems of the United States. So our campaign, Swords of Iron, is assisting in the information battle, is equipping politicians to understand what's going on and people running for office, mobilizing people to work with law enforcement, to be the eyes and ears of law enforcement. And the foundation is we're producing a movie, an expose on Hamas and on Hamas in the United States, so that all these Muslim groups that are really affiliated with Hamas are banned in the United States, are made persona non grata, or as the White House did with CARE, are disavowed by patriotic Americans. That's what we're doing.
And I have recently discovered and that CARE, that universities are actually hiring CARE Muslim Brotherhood as professors. And we wonder why kids are out in the street, pro-Hamas, not ashamed to call themselves a Nazi. So, this is very concerning. And the second segment, we're going to talk about the education system. But Israel is our only ally in the Middle East. We need to defend Israel and support Israel. But again, America, we need to wake up. And, the church needs to wake up in America. They need to activate and engage and not be fearful. God does not want us to be cowards. So we need to be strong. We need to trust God. And, I like to quote, I put it on all my business cards and all my flyers, 2 Chronicles 7:14. And you're a believer, Tom. I'm a believer. God says he promises to heal our land. 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, will seek my face, will turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven. Then I will answer your prayers and I will heal your land. And God is a God of promises. He created the heavens, the earth, the galaxies, plural, I like to say. And, we need to turn this country back to biblical values once again, whether we're Jewish, whether we're Christian. We need to turn back to biblical values, because what we're witnessing currently is complete disregard for law. It's just complete lawlessness and chaos. And I always like to say that the Democrats are the party of death, destruction, and depression. We've got a fentanyl issue. We haven't discussed the fentanyl issue yet. The human smuggling and the human trafficking, that's modern day slavery. So I don't know if you want to add to that.
Let me expand a little bit on your identification of CARE. And again, for your viewers, your listeners, CARE is an acronym, CAIR, Council on American Islamic Relations. They have managed since 1963. That's when they started at University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana. The whole plan, CARE is a Muslim Brotherhood. Federal government has identified CARE as a Muslim Brotherhood affiliate, and CARE is an unindicted co-conspirator in a federal terrorism funding trial back in 2007, 2008. So CARE is Hamas. If you think of a public relations arm for Hamas, where they try to keep distance, oh no, we can't, we're against violence, but they all are supporters of the Hamas ideology. Well, as our big concern right now, and the fentanyl is critically important because it's killing Americans. Part of that problem is Americans should not be taking drugs, number one. Number two, some of the kids are taking what they believe are, there's no innocent, recreational drug, but they think it's an innocent recreational drug that's been laced with fentanyl and they die. So this is a problem. But a different problem is an organization that by design has been infiltrating the institutions in America. You identified CARE being in universities. They're on over 600 campuses through the Muslim Student Association. And you see what they're doing now. There's a conflict, Ceci, in Islam. Muslims are told, we are the greatest people. Muhammad is the final prophet. Islam should rule. And they're told from day one, they're wonderful and Islam is great. But then they open their door and go outside, and none of that is true. None of that makes sense in the real world. Every Muslim country is a failed country unless they got oil, and they're still a failed country, throwing the oil all over the place. And you compare the Nobel prizes, the Jewish people and Muslims. Jews have like 10 million Nobel prizes. Muslims have 3 or 4. So Muslims go around being told we're the greatest, but in reality, they know they're not. So there's an internal psychological uneasiness, an existential crisis as a result of what's going on in Israel right now, where the evil dog Jew is destroying the Hamas and humiliating them. The lion brothers of the Hamas, the Muslim young military age men, are starting to go beyond protesting to semi-kinetic. And as Israel continues to destroy Hamas and then goes up north for Hezbollah, you're going to see more and more Muslims getting aggressive, violating the law, indeed putting on suicide belts in 2024. I'm calling it the year of the evil Muslim jihadi, and taking cars and running over people and stabbing people. You're going to see what they do in the Middle East coming to the United States, particularly in the urban areas, particularly where the George Floyd riots were. Welcome to America 2024.
Right. And this is what America needs to be aware of. I don't want America to get to the point like the Revolutionary War where we are fighting with weapons, to defend our home. I'm trying to fight on this platform, the political platform. And we do need to, it is our job to expose what is not correct, or what are the lies. For example, Hamas, they they demand humanitarian aid, right? Does the humanitarian aid go to the actual Gazans? No, they don't even care about their own people. And so this is just shows who they truly are. They build their bunkers where they launch rockets out of underneath schools and hospitals. And we have now discovered that in Israel, for example, there is 300 miles across Gaza. These tunnels that we saw a Hezbollah tunnel when we were in Israel.
Yeah,
but
we were in one. Yeah.
Gaza's in the south, and those tunnels go 7 stories below the ground. So now IDF is being forced to not fight above the ground so much as underneath in the tunnels. So it's very interesting. My district's desert. I have no doubt that there is a tunnel system underneath the desert floors in my district of Imperial Valley. So, very, very concerning. It's time for America to wake up. And I don't want America to be fearful, but we need to activate, we need to engage, and we need to hold our elected officials accountable, and they need to show strength instead of weakness. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of weakness. There's not a lot of proactive measures happening. And so that's what I want to do when I get to Congress.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need to do that. And we need, when you get there, we need you to wake up other members of Congress to what's going on. Because, as I said, when CARE got here in 1963, and one of the architects back then was a guy by the name of Abu Musa Marzouk. Not too many people know about him, but he was the architect behind organizing CARE. And just yesterday, a couple of days ago, he is the chief political leader of the Hamas now, hiding out in Qatar or Turkey somewhere. I don't think he's in Lebanon at this point anymore. But, he came out and said that there'll be no ceasefire. They'll continue. You see, part of the military strategy of the IDF is to kill the enemy. Part of the military strategy of the Hamas is to have the enemy, the IDF, kill citizens. It's to the Hamas's benefit worldwide if Israel kills babies, and CNN playing the dopey fool holds the babies up every 5 minutes, and my heart breaks when I see that. But then I go back to Marzouk and Mohammed Def and Yahya Sinwar and Hassan Nasrallah with Hezbollah and Ishmael Haniyeh, all these guys. They end the baby killing tomorrow. So my sympathy stays with the baby, but goes away from the movement, because the more babies die, the more world pressure put on Israel to condemn them. And Hamas believes if they could hold out, the world will stop, particularly the United States, stop Israel. And if there's 2 people left, and one pea shooter, the Hamas will declare victory, and Muslims worldwide will say, aha, they didn't kill all of us. And they'll view that as a win. And that we can't allow that to happen, because that will energize the jihadis in America to be more bold, more destructive, particularly in your state, They're going to ignite in the state of California, no question.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know that Israel is very compassionate, and they don't want to kill civilians. I mean, they go as far as it's something called roof knocking. They warn the people before they have to shoot, and it's a precision targeting to the leaders, to the actual terrorists. That's what they're are trying to accomplish, and so they don't want to kill the innocent civilians. That is not their heart. They're very compassionate. They will take a Gazan to their hospitals and treat the Gazans before their IDF soldiers. So that just shows you that Israelis, just like Christians, they love life. We're on the side of life. And we have to destroy the terrorists because they are on the side of death and destruction. So, well, Tom, I will have you back. I would love to talk further, but I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us all about what you do. And I know I wanted to add, you were with Tom Homan. You guys link arms a lot together. Tom Homan was our director of ICE under President Trump. And Trump says when he comes back, Tom Homan is going to be our ICE director once again. And so I'm very excited for that. We love Tom Homan, and we appreciate his heart. He's so compassionate. He has seen so much at the border, and it's a very heart-wrenching, the stories that he's told us. So we don't want to see any more death. We don't want to see innocent migrants, being hurt on the border. And we don't want to see fentanyl poisoning Americans. And we know that the cartels cannot operate without the blessing of China. We know where this fentanyl is coming from. So we've got work to do when we get to Congress, but I will be working with you and with Tom Homan and some other amazing patriots. But thank you so much, Tom. God bless you. God save America.
Bye-bye. Thank you very, very much.
God bless. Okay, well, that was I could talk to Tom for much longer, but we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk to Barbie George, and she is the state director, California state director for Moms for America. So I'm very excited to speak with Barbie. She was recently featured on the Sebastian Gorka program, and she did a phenomenal job. She's very articulate and an amazing woman. So we'll wait for Barbie to come on. There she is. Hola, ¿cómo está?
Hola, ¿cómo está, mi amor?
Muy bien, gracias. Muy bien. So, Barbie, she's an amazing woman. I think you speak 5 languages. Is that correct?
Yes.
I mean, French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. I think I'm missing some.
English, and then I have a smattering of a few other languages that I know little bits and pieces there.
Truly amazing. And you were recently on the Sebastian Gorka program, and I saw you, and I thought I have to talk to Barbie George. And please tell us what Moms for America is all about. I know that they are a conservative mama bear group, and you guys have many different programs or things happening that we need to share with moms. We need to get mama bears where they are collaborating and united and feel reinforced. And, like I said in the intro, courageous is contagious, and we need to spawn one another on and be at those school board meetings. But you guys are very involved in all of that.
Thank you so much, Ceci, for having me. First, I want to congratulate you on this. This is phenomenal, and I wish you the best in all of your endeavors.
Thank
so
you.
Moms for America. So we have Moms for America, which is a 501c3, and we also have Moms for America Action, which is a 501c4, and that way we can deal with the social issues and then also delve into some of the political things also. So the basic premise for Moms for America is to empower moms, raise patriots, and promote the principles of liberty. We want to empower moms to be successful and to be able to advocate for their children, for their families, and for their country. And so please, I'm inviting anyone, if you want to know more, definitely, and I'm not ending, but I like to begin in case people want to check on their phone or something, momsforamerica.us, and you can see so much, but we'll definitely get more into it right now.
So one thing that I'm very excited about, and I heard the founder, remind the audience of her name, the founder.
Kimberly Fletcher.
Okay,
She
Kimberly
started.
Fletcher. I got to meet her once about a year ago, but I remember she spoke on homeschooling. And I really think that that is a really important topic right now. President Trump said that when he comes back, he is not only going to support school choice, but he is going to allow $10,000 approximately to follow each child for homeschooling. So I want to work with President Trump on that. He wants to be an advocate for homeschooling. And I'm a big believer. I'm a homeschool veteran mom of 15 years, graduating all three of my sons. My youngest just graduated from Dallas Baptist University with a business major and is moved on to study for his master's. I say all of that to encourage parents that yes, it's work. Yes, it's different. It's a sacrifice financially and lifestyle change wise, but it's so worth it. And the time goes so fast. When I finally graduated my last son, I couldn't believe, wow, I finished. And to the grace of God, I mean, God had to help me, but it's work, but it's so worth it. If you can, it's actually less work really than having multiple kids at multiple elementary, middle school, high school. Moms become a taxi cab driver and you become kind of a slave to the school district really. Then you got to volunteer, you got to pay for school clothes and meals, lunches, and then by the time you pick up your child, they've been with the school 6 to 8 hours. You've got to make dinner, sports. It's exhausting to think about it really. But tell me all about your homeschool advocacy.
So Moms for America, we have amazing resources for homeschool moms. We have these virtual meetings. We have resources that you can download PDFs or you can order resources. We offer our resources in PDF form, but if you wanted like a hard copy, that you can acquire from our website also. And I would say I'm a new homeschooling mom this year. I started homeschooling my youngest. I was homeschooling my older boy. It's a little different. It was his choice. He really preferred to do it from home. But our youngest, just the climate of our school system right now, I just felt that it was important to homeschool her. But the truth be told, I went to a Moms for America event and I met up with Sam Sorbo, who is a great champion for homeschooling. And she asked me, she goes, well, you're a mother of 5. Do you have children still in school? I said, yes, I have, my youngest is still in the brick and mortar school. And she goes, and why is that? And then why aren't you homeschooling? And I said, well, I don't know. And I tell you, it was the most beautiful moment when I really had that epiphany. And I'm glad that she clocked me on it. She said, aren't your children worth it?
Yeah.
And it may be a sacrifice and it may be challenging, but it is rewarding. And so I'm still going through the early hiccups and I'm using these great resources. So I will keep everybody up to date on it. But we have so many resources and people that you can reach out to. It's not just the resources that you read. You get to link up with a team member who can help and be part of these great meetings. We have these great meetings where you can join in and ask questions virtually. And we have stuff that you can look up past resources with great, amazing guests who speak on, like Sam Sorbo or like Rebecca Friedrichs, who they offer so much insight and support for moms. And that's what we want. We want to empower moms by giving them the resources, the information that's needed so that they can be successful in their lives with their family and their children.
And I tell parents that are thinking about it, and parents that are doing it, I want to keep encouraging them that they can accomplish more in 3 to 4 hours, more than what the schools can accomplish, in 6 to 8 hours, indoctrinating our children and sexualizing them and exposing them to vile pornography. I mean, that's not what adult wants to talk about sex with the children, first and foremost. I mean, that this is just, and the pornography that's being allowed it's just, I never thought I would see it at this degree. And it's so concerning. It's really important in these. I'm so happy that you guys are so involved in the homeschooling sector. And we'll move on to the next, uh, you know, thing that you guys advocate for. But I'm a big advocate for homeschooling because we need to rescue the souls of our children right now. And it needs to
Absolutely.
happen right away because, and I think when people think about it too much, they overanalyze and they scare themselves out of the decision. And we need to show courage and trust God in that, you know, we need to protect their spirits, and we need to we need to know, well, what are their gifts? What were they created? What did God create them to be? And we need to hone in and encourage our children's gifts. And, you know, homeschooling is not about keeping them in a bubble. It's about a launching pad. We are preparing them for the world, because this world's getting darker, and we need to prepare them. You know, they're going to be adults before we know it. And what is so powerful about parents coming together is that, you know, it's kind of lonely. You feel lonely when you're homeschooling, and you think, well, am I doing something wrong? But, you know, I'm telling you, California scores, I think, 48 or 49 of 50 states academically. They are absolutely failing our children. Parents who love their kids will do a much better job. And there's wonderful curriculum out there. You know, you don't need a teacher's degree to homeschool. And so anyway, that's what
Yeah, there's lots of curriculums. I'm glad that you touched on that, because I can actually say that I know people who have been homeschooling for years, and they've had their children learn so much faster that I know of 15-year-olds who have just gotten their bachelor's degree and are on their way to getting their master's because of the homeschooling enabling them to learn at their own rate, learn faster, learn more, and be prepared for college faster than traditional schooling. And so they will be productive members of society sooner, and being under the vigilant eyes of their moms and dads and their families, so that they're not indoctrinated, and so that they can be productive members of society. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. So definitely, if you're on the fence about it, seek some great information. You can contact Moms for America. You can contact me. You go to the resource page, who we are. You scroll down to California. You click on my picture, and you can send me an email directly. I will answer you. I will help you get those resources to link up with all of our great support people that we have, and help you to get those goals and to keep the integrity of your family.
You know, someone said that if 30 to 40% of families will homeschool, this could very well bankrupt the school unions. And they are the most powerful, most corrupt union, I believe, in the United States. And they're exploiting our children. They don't care about our children. They're not even really educating them. You know, America is not internationally rigorous when it comes to academics. And in California, I've talked to principals and school teachers that are being forced to promote students to the next grade level and graduate them when they're in 12th grade, even if they're getting D's and F's, even if they're not performing. So, you know, that just shows that these school unions, I'm going to say that, they don't care about our children's education. And, you know, I just think when we have a generation of people who are not educated, don't have proper math skills, reading skills, reading, writing, math, you know, now we've got a whole generation of, I don't like saying this, but it's, you know, it's ignorant people, you know, and you can control the masses this way. And when you put out propaganda, you know, people are more naive to believe that kind of stuff. And this is part of the Marxist movement. You know, in China, I like to say that fifth graders are learning calculus. And in America, our fifth graders don't know what the difference between a real man and a real woman is. You know, so this is very concerning. And so it's time for parents. You know, I mean, the sexualization of innocent little children, that should be enough to just yank them out of school, you know, honestly. And there's so many programs out there and so much support. Barbie, tell me what else Moms for America is involved with.
So what we have a great program called cottage meetings, and in the cottage meetings, what we do is we build knowledge of and principles of freedom. So we're teaching and empowering moms on the Constitution, on laws, on legislation. We're also helping moms feel more empowered and to be able to show up at a school board or your city council, or to speak to a representative and not feel overwhelmed or like you're not savvy enough. We want moms to know the information is out there and we can help you obtain it. And then you can go and be an advocate for your community without feeling like I'm just a mom. We're not just moms. We are the cusp of society bringing forth the next generation. And so we need to be empowered with the knowledge that we need to maintain the integrity of our communities and our country.
That's
So
right.
I just wanted to say, so those cottage meetings are where you, when you go to Moms for America, and if you'd like to sign up to be a member or be a part of these cottage meetings, we will guide you with someone in your district or your county, depending upon the size of your state. Each state is different. And then we will connect you with the people in your area, and you start building that sense of community. You speak to each other, you talk to each other, and you support each other as you learn. And these programs are, I tell you, infallible. Once you do one cottage meeting, you're going to want to do a dozen.
Yeah.
And we've got so many programs. We have cottage meetings for kids. We've got our grandma grizzlies, which are the grandmothers, because there are a lot of grandmothers who are caretakers. And they also want to maintain the integrity of their grandchildren's souls and their lives. And so we want to empower grandmas to say, you know what, you don't have to take a back seat to this. You can be a part of the process to advocate for your grandchildren who are the future of this country. So we've got so much support, and it's all about support. It's about empowering. It's about getting our moms active. We need to start at the local level and up, because the things that affect us most in our lives are at the local level. So we need to be local and vocal, but we need to do it in a positive cognitive way, in a way that we're going to have a seat at the table, because we can disagree. We don't have to make it, an argument or anything, but you can come to someone with a different opinion or mindset and say, you know what, this is what's going on. Perhaps we can find that common ground, because we all love our children. So we all should want what's best for them. And a lot of these initiatives and these things that are going on in the schools are not what the parents want. So we have been awakened. We've seen what's going on. And now it's time for us to take action and be a part of the process. Look, it didn't happen overnight that we got here. It's not going to be overnight that we're going to change it, but we have to start with these first steps so that we can make a change. And I believe that moms are key. We also have, and we just premiered this, I have I have 5 children. 2 of my daughters are adult, and they're not moms, but we have future moms for America. And so we have the young women who can be a part of this movement. Also, we have our grandma grizzlies. We have Moms for America. We have future Moms for America. And then we have our Patriot Pack, which are for the children. And they have wonderful resources on the Constitution and great learning, and just a place. There's also cottage meetings for the children to interact, of course, with parental supervision, which is what we should all strive for. But there's a lot of resources, and I really encourage anyone, if you're feeling like, you know what, there's nothing I can do, there is something we all can do. And please give us the opportunity to help empower you and get you to where you want to be.
I love that. That is amazing. I love that you have the future moms of America, because 5 years from now, they will be moms, most likely, if they're in their early 20s, So, it's very, it is powerful when people come together, power in numbers. And that's what our opponents, that's what these far leftists, they are afraid of us coming together and uniting, because a cord that is tied cannot be broken so easily, right? And I encourage parents, even though you are homeschooling, please be involved at the school board meetings, because we can't just think of our own families and our own children. We need to think, like you said, of our community. and other children that has, they need a voice also. They need people who are going to come together in masses. We need to come in masses, and we need to vote those people out of office that have bad intentions for our children. And so until we attend these school board meetings, we don't know who is who, because they're not labeled. And we only know them by what they do. The Bible says we will know them by their fruits, right? So yeah, I highly encourage. And you know what? One more thing I wanted to add is, when we attend groups such as Moms for America, and these, you called it's cottage, remind me again.
Cottage meetings or cottage
meetings. That's where you start building camaraderie, and people, other moms, it becomes like a family. You guys become like family. And I can just share that the moms that I homeschooled with 15 years ago when I started, or actually it's been longer now, we're like family still. We still keep in touch. We've seen our kids grow together. We've prayed over over one another. And, I've prayed for their kids. They've prayed for my children. So it's a very beautiful and powerful thing to kind of rethink how we are educating our children and nurturing their spirits.
And that's the most important thing, that we are nurturing them with goodness, with the things the tools that they need. And you touched upon something is really important. It doesn't matter if your child is homeschooled, you should be attending your local school board meetings. Why? It's important that the education that our children, all of our children, are receiving, that it be positive and cognitive, that it be something that actually help them fulfill their goals in the future. And a lot of the ideology, it's not preparing them for this highly competitive world that we're living in. And these children are the future. These attitudes, these things that they are being implemented in their minds, this is going to carry on with them. I know countless stories of parents who say to me, how is it that your children, they are on the straight and narrow and they follow things? It's like, well, I was very vigilant. And I know that it's not easy for every parent to do that, but we can start now. It's never too late. It is time now to take action. It is time now for us to open our eyes and see what is going on. And every school board is different. So what's happening in one school district is not the same that what's happening in the other district. And we have a great program. I'm actually in search of education ambassadors. And if anybody is interested in being an education ambassador for their school district, please reach out to us here at Moms for America. I'd love to speak with you. We train, and we just want to know what's going on and be able to support every school district possible out there. And that's why this initiative is really important. And so we really need to be looking out for the future generation. Our kids, if we have them home and we're homeschooling them, that's fine. But there's a myriad of children out there who do not, for whatever reason, their parents just can't or whatever. It's really important that we support these parents and encourage them to be active in their children's education and in the school board. So if you've been on the fence about even running for school board, run. I ran for school board. It wasn't easy. Unfortunately, I didn't win, but I actually, for me, it was something more important. I had a vested interest. My children were part of the school district. I'm homeschooling now, but a lot of times we feel that that's for someone else to do. No. And I didn't want my children to grow up and say to me, Mom, when all of this was happening, what did you do to help?
Right.
And we don't want that.
Exactly. And, we are setting examples to our children, no matter, what age they are. You have little ones and you have adults, and they're watching us, and they are going to be tomorrow's leaders. And, the reason also it is so important for all parents, whether you have children in public system or you are homeschooling, to attend these school board meetings is because the children of tomorrow, they are going to be our professors. They are going to be our police. They're going to be our government officials. And so, we have to, this is a, we need to fight for America. And that's the title of your organization. It's Moms for America. So thank you for being in the trenches, Barbie. Do not grow weary in doing good. You know, God is with us. And if God be for us, who can be against us? And we're just going to keep moving forward and encouraging other moms and dads too. Dads need to get encouraged. But we know that mama bears, we're kind of special, because we fight for our children, and no one's going to touch our kids, right? And harm them educationally or spiritually. We're always right there to defend them. So, well, I want to thank you for coming on, Barbie. You are an amazing, articulate fighter, patriot. I have so much regard and respect for you, and keep on doing what you do. And I look forward to speaking with you maybe in a couple months from now. And if there are any new updates, keep us posted. How can people find you once again?
So you can, I have a Moms for America email, which is CA for California, CAMFA. MFA stands for Moms for America. CAMFA at momsforamerica.net.
Wonderful.
And you can go to the website, momsforamerica.us, and you can click on who we are, scroll down to California, and you can click on California, and it will go directly to my email also. And I'd be happy to speak to anyone and help people on their journey to help us bring America back to the integrity that it had.
That's right. Well, thank you once again. God bless you. And like I say, God save America.
Amen.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to more exciting guests. We have some exciting guests coming like Victor Avila. He was a former ICE investigator, and he is now running for Congress in District 23, which is Eagle Pass, Texas area. And so we will be talking to him in the near future. We have other guests coming as well, but we will keep you posted. Actually, we will post that on social media. So anyway, God bless you all. And until next time.
This show is brought to you by Ceci Truman.